The St. Louis Blues have screwed the Edmonton Oilers. So please stay tuned to this episode of Full-Time Hockey Oilers Edition to find out what has happened. So this guy here, Doug Armstrong, the GM of the St. Louis Blues, he's playing a game that no team has played for 3 or 4 years, and that is the offer sheet game. And this time he's double dosed it because he's offer sheeted Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, both former first round picks of the Edmonton Oilers in the past few years, and they're supposed to be an important part of this team coming forward. Anyhow, maybe Doug Armstrong hasn't had a good relationship with Stan Bowman or something. Maybe he holds a grudge on him since his first year or first season on the job, and Armstrong pulls this off, and he's put the Oilers in a tough position. So why did he do this? Who knows? Maybe he was jealous of the Oilers team being so stacked after the off season, and his team is probably, a non-playoff team once again. So something to do and fiddle with, and he's made history to do a double offer sheet to the same team. Okay, so what is this offer sheet here? Okay, look at the details. He's giving Philip Broberg a 2-year contract at $4.58 million per, and for Dylan Holloway, 2-year contract at $2.29 million per. So these are huge raises compared to what they were formerly making, like under $1 million. They were like bottom feeders. Okay, so this is very enticing for these two young players here, because they have no ARB rights. They're RFAs at the first time of their careers, and they'll probably be like a sacrifice to make the team cap compliant, and they'll be offered like a very low contract, somewhere between like $950K to like 1.1 mil or something. There's no more cap space on the Oilers. We've signed too many people to spice things up, and we're already over the cap by a few million. Okay, before this double offer sheet had been pulled off. Okay, so how on earth are we able to keep these guys? That's crazy. $4.58 million for Philip Broberg, and he's barely played like regularly in the NHL. This is like, St. Louis is just doing this to screw the Oilers. Pure fact. Okay, why would they pay a 950K dude $4.58 million suddenly out of nowhere when he's just played like 10 playoff games so far last year's season? Okay, he wasn't even a regular. He just filled in and performed pretty well, but like he's not worth that much. He hasn't had any stable or any running history of making it in the NHL and playing well. Like, he's got the potential, but potential doesn't mean anything. Okay, many people had good potential and they ended up like going to Russia afterwards. Holloway, $2.29 million is reasonable, but still, that's too much for this youngster. Okay, we can't afford that. As per my previous episode talking about the roster moves, I had these guys penciled in at $950K. Okay, so in order to make the Oilers cap compliance. So how can we pay these guys? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so Mr. Stan Bowman here, wonderful GM, has some head scratching to do and some tough decisions to make in the next 6 to 7 days. Okay, because that's when he's got his time's up and has to make a decision on these two little young guys. Alright, so just looking at the history of Broberg. Okay, like he was 2019 draft pick, first rounder, 8th overall. Okay, and then last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years he's been making a $925K, $894K, $863K, $863K, and $863K. Okay, so he's been making the league minimum. He hasn't played many games in the regular season or in the playoffs, and suddenly he's been offered $4.59 million. I mean, if I was him, my heart would be thumping right now. I'd jump to St. Louis right away, okay? Because you're not gonna get that type of money in the Oilers organization for at least another like 3 or 4 years, because there's no space to give it to you, you know. So that's very enticing. So $9 million in 2 years, that's crazy. You know, how long will it take for like a 23-year-old to make that type of money elsewhere, right? Okay, and then Dylan Holloway, he was the first rounder selected the year prior. Okay, so he's been making 925k, 925k, and 925k in the last 3 seasons. So that's also like minimum wage. And he's getting $2.29 million offer from the St. Louis Blues. It's fair. He's a pretty big dude. He can play center. He can play wing. He's got scoring potential. He's got that grit. He also, he's not like Ryan McLeod. He actually charges into the net or like plays in the greasy areas. He's a good player, okay, and I wouldn't want to give him up. He's a good Oiler. Maybe he wants to stay as an Oiler, but he's getting this type of offer, double his salary. He has no arbor rights. If he stays, if there's no offer sheet available, he'll probably only get $1 million maximum. Now he's got a chance to double his salary, but he play in a bottom feeding team that probably won't make the playoffs. So it depends what he wants, okay? So looking at the Oilers' projected cap hit after this fun doing by Doug Armstrong, we are now $7.22 million over the cap, okay? So if you include these offer sheet wages applied to these two young fellas, the Oilers' current cap hit is at $95.225 million, okay? At $88 million for the full cap next season, we're $7 million over. Okay, so we have to fix that for sure. While the St. Louis Blues have $7 million in surplus. Okay, so you have $7.339 million in cap space. So they're more incapable to fit both of these guys in if both took the offer and the Oilers didn't retain them. Okay, so 2.29 plus 4.59, so that's less than $7 million. Okay, so that's no problem to go over there in St. Louis, and probably spice up their team a little bit with this youth and energy. Okay, so let's just review the stats of Philip Broberg here. Okay, so he's a 2019 first rounder and 8th overall. Okay, he's 23 years old, so he was playing in Sweden in 2017-18 all the way to 2021, and then he came over to the Oilers in 2021-22 season. Okay, split that between Oilers and Bakersfield, so played 23 games with the big club, 1 goal and 2 assists, so 3 whopping big points. Okay, next season he's also played half. Okay, so he played 46 games with the Oilers and then 7 games only in the NHL. In 46 games with the Oilers, only 1 goal and 7 assists, so 8 points. Not very attractive. Okay, and then 2023-24, okay, 12 games only, okay, last year with the Oilers, 12 regular season games only, and the rest was in Bakersfield. So before that happened, a year ago, he had a little bit of a fit with the Oilers because he didn't get his play time. He was the 7th defenseman last year, okay, so he was kind of wasted and wanted to go elsewhere, wanted to be traded out. Okay, so talk with Ken Holland, they got that sorted out, so he went down full time basically in Bakersfield to hone in on his skills and improve down there. Okay, so he did pretty well because he came up in the Dallas series. Was it Dallas series 10 games? Yeah, Dallas series. Okay, and he was playing pretty exceptional. Okay, so in 10 games he played. He got 2 goals and 1 assist. Not very amazing there, but his defensive skills and his skating and also his passing, okay, out of his own zone was crazy. If you guys watch those series against the Stars and also against the Panthers, he made some amazing plays out of his own zone. those beautiful stretch passes to the forwards, okay, and clearing the zone. And he was able to keep up against those big boys, okay, against the Panthers, against the Stars. He didn't show any rookiness or inability to play in the big moments. He played like a pro. His gap control is good, and he was probably making Darnell Nurse look better than usual. Okay, so that's a good reason to keep him on the team. But $4.59 million is a big question mark. Okay, so let's look at the stats of Dylan Holloway. Okay, let's review his stats. So he was drafted in 2020, 14th overall in the first round. Okay, 22 years old. So he's a Calgarian, and he was playing for the Okotoks Oilers and AJHL from 2016 to 2019. Then down in Wisconsin, U of Wisconsin for 2 years. Then in 21-22, he was able to join the Condors. Okay, played 33 games there, 8 goals, 14 assists, 22 points, not bad. Okay, 21-22. No games played in the NHL. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, 21 and then 22-23, 51 games with the Oilers, just 3 goals and 6 assists. Okay, and then some games in the Bakersfield, and then last year 38 games with the Oilers and 18 games with Bakersfield. So 6 goals and 3 assists, so 9 points and 9 points. So maximum, his best record is 9 points in the NHL. In the playoffs, he played 25 games last year. Okay, in that amazing run all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7. He scored 5 goals and 2 assists. Okay, and that's not bad, for like this sophomore season of his. And I think he would be missed if he had to go over to St. Louis. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So just taking a quick glance at the current roster construction right now, with the offer sheeted salary increases for Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway. As we can see, the total cap hit now is at $95.225 million. One item to note is that Evander Kane appears that he would, from different outlets, he appears that he will be playing next year. Okay, even though he's going to undergo surgery sometime soon. Even if he's placed on LTR later on, we're gonna have to count his full cap hit for now, because that's some complicated cap gymnastics work over there. We don't know how much money we'll be able to save. And if he recovers like quickly right after surgery, he's able to play. Okay, so we can't count that out. So we have to stick in this $5.125 million capping into this projected roster cap hit. Okay, just to be safe. And that is way overboard. Okay, so we've got to do some slimming down. We'll see what Stan Bowman is able to do. Okay, so just looking at some different scenarios. Okay, if we were to keep both players, if we were to keep both guys, we don't want them out of town. We want them as Oilers. Okay, we like Philip Broberg playing with Nurse. Okay, he can't be let go. Holloway, he's a up-and-coming youngster with all that energy. Okay, now that Warren Foegele's gone, Warren Foegele and Ryan McLeod are both gone. Not many young guys on our team. The rest are pretty up there in their ages, as you can see, up in the top 6, even top 9. All these guys are like nearing 30. Okay, and Derek Ryan and Henrik are well into the 30s. So we need to get some younger guys on the team. Okay, so if we were to try and keep both guys, match the offer sheet given by St. Louis Blues, we would have to first of all get rid of Cody Ceci, so he is traded out of town. Okay, his $3.25 million cap hit is gone. Same with Brett Kulak, can't stay any longer, so his $2.75 million cap hit is also gone. We would have to move Corey Perry down to the minors. Okay, so get rid of his $1.15 million cap hit. And we also have to move Josh Brown, the newly signed Josh Brown, down to the minors as well and get rid of $1 more million. And now then we would be having a $149.459 available in cap space. Wow. Okay, so I'm not sure we can use any of that during the trade deadline. Anyhow, with this method to get rid of CC, get rid of Kulak, those are traded out of town for some draft picks or something like that. Move down Corey Perry, move down Josh Brown. Okay, yeah, we'll have to pull up Philip Kemp to play, okay, because he's a bit lower cost than Josh Brown. And we'll be able to squeeze them just into the cap space of $88 million and be able to retain both Holloway and Philip Broberg at their new and very expensive contract cost for 2 years. So would we like to do that, which might impact the Draisaitl signing or even the new contract for Evan Bouchard? That's gonna push us like way too much to the edge. We have no flexibility anywhere. So the scenario to keep both of these guys is probably highly unlikely. Okay, so the next one we'll move over if we are able to keep just Philip Broberg. So same recipe basically. Dylan Holloway goes, okay, so we get some compensation for him. CC is the first guy out the door. Sorry about that. $3.25 million down, okay, get a draft pick for something, I don't know, 5th round or 6th round or whatever. Unfortunately, Brett Kulak also has to go, okay, because $4.59 million is really hard to fit under this structure right now, especially when we also have to keep Evander Kane on the roster at $5.125 million. Okay, Corey Perry is able to stay in this situation, doesn't have to go to the minors, okay, because Holloway is out the door. Josh Brown is able to stay on the big team, and Troy Stetcher will be playing on the right side. Okay, so Philip Broberg gets to partner up with Darnell Nurse, and away we go. Okay, so in this situation, there will be $1.064 million left in cap space. So if we need to do anything at the trade deadline, there's still a bit of wiggle room. Maybe we can trade out somebody and upgrade for on D, whatever. So this method, we have a little bit of more flexibility, okay, and it's a bit more feasible than keeping both. Okay, so moving on to the final one. So in this case, we let go of Philip Broberg, we keep Dylan Holloway. So this is probably the easiest path to take for Stan Bowman if he were to keep either one of them. Philip Broberg's $4.5 million cap hit can, he can go to this Blues, okay? The St. Louis Blues can, see what they get for this player at this type of cap hit. Big risk, probably. But, let the buyer beware. He's the buyer. I mean, they're the buyer. Whatever they choose to do was their own doing, okay? If it screws up for them, woohoo. So, Oilers can avoid that type of catastrophe to sign Broberg at $4.59 million. Okay, so in this situation, same recipe. Cody CC has to go. Okay, his $3.25 million cap hit is the first thing out. Okay, trade him out. But Brett Kulak gets to stay this time. Okay. Up on the forwards, Mr. Corey Perry will have to go down to the Condors because Holloway is staying. He's going to play on the top 12, okay? So he slots in the center with Yarmark or Ryan, whoever, okay? Just as temporary to fit in. Okay, and then down in the D, same thing. Josh Brown, Troy Stetcher on the third pair. Kulak will play with Nurse instead. And no more Philip Broberg. So in this situation here is probably the best scenario. We have cap space left at $1.755 million. Okay, so if we need to do some upgrading at the trade deadline, we still have much more wiggle room than previously. So versus to keep both, where there's only like 139k left in cap space, where we probably won't be able to buy anything or do any upgrading at all. Okay, so going back to the rulebook, just to do a quick review. In the case that we do not match these offers, okay, so we get some compensation back for these offer sheets. So Dylan Holloway would fall under the $1.51 to $2.29 million range. We'd get a third round draft pick in return if you sign with St. Louis. And Philip Broberg would fall under the next category at $2.29 to $4.58 million. And we would get a second round pick in return for Philip Broberg if he were to sign with the St. Louis Blues. But these are underpayments in my opinion, because if we were to trade them out in an open market, these were former first rounders, pretty high picks, 8th and 14th. So they could also be used as trade chips during the trade deadline. We'd probably get something like a half decent player back, and add this guy, Philip Broberg or something in return for a better defenseman or whomever, or even trade him for a first or whatever. But just getting second and third is probably a bit of a waste. But at this point in the cap situation for the Oilers, I don't think Stan Bowman has much choice left. It'll be hard to retain Philip Broberg. And also, Broberg was, the pet of the former GM. It was Ken Holland's, pick during 2019. And, Ken Holland did all he could do in order to keep this guy, because he loved Swedish defensemen. And now that he's not here any longer, I don't think Stan Bowman has any connection to Broberg. And, it would be probably easier for Bowman just to, okay, go ahead, $4.5 million, you go to St. Louis, we're not going to be able to pay you, wish you the best in your NHL career, and we'll see you later. So to summarize, Doug Armstrong has really screwed the Oilers over. Double offer sheeting for these two guys that we weren't able to sign yet due to Draisaitl's contract situation, okay? So I don't know, I think he just targeted the Oilers to to have some fun, screw us up, make our plans harder to finish up in the off season, because we were trying to go in and sign these two guys for like probably pretty low contracts and keep the cap low. Now that he's completely screwed this over, we'll probably have to say goodbye to Philip Broberg. That's unfortunate. I thought he would be able to be a good partner for Nurse, because one guy makes $9 million and plays like crap, and if we compare him up with a 900k salary guy who plays good, at least we could split that apart, average out their salaries, so it doesn't hurt so much looking at Nurse lying on his tummy and making $9 million and letting goals in all the time. Anyhow, that dream is gone. We'll have to find a new partner for Nurse. And if we don't look elsewhere and just keep our internal options available, it will probably be Brett Kulak, and Holloway can stay. So that's all for the details of this offer sheet. Okay, hope you guys found this information useful, and most importantly, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like my video. Hopefully you can support us by clicking that subscribe bell. It really means a lot to us. And thanks for watching once again, and we'll see you in the next one. And good night to Doug Armstrong, and wish him a healthy and happy Christmas. Goodbye.